Wow, what a difference when we have like a packed house and how that sounds. That's fantastic. We now open the floor for public comments on agenda items. We have quite an audience here tonight, so if anyone has a public comment, please feel free to stand up and make that. And then also for those of us that are joining virtually, please feel free to type that into the chat and we will read it into the meeting for you. We can pause a moment to let anyone that's joining us virtually that wishes to make a public comment do so. No, if we have anyone. No one's. Okay. There being no public comments, we will move on to presentations.
All right, thank you. We have a few presentations this evening, but before we get started with today's board meeting, I just wanted to draw your attention to the back wall, or for those of you that are presenting, to the front wall. But we are known, as you all know, the district that sparkles. And it's not just glitter and glam all the time, just some of the time. It is truly a mindset. So all of us have that growth mindset about being the best versions of ourselves. And hopefully it trickles through the entire organization for adults and students to just constantly be their best and strive for continuous improvement. So on the first day of school, when we had staff, we sent out a survey and said, what does sparkle mean to you? And those were the top 20 words that came up. And so we enlisted the support of a wonderful graphic artist and our amazing sign guy, and they put that all together. It was just completed yesterday. So that is what District 76 staff feel about the word sparkle and what it means to them. So I just wanted to point that out to you and how proud we are of it. In the Sparkle Center. All right, so our three presentations this evening. First off, we're going to start out with our Diamond Awards. And we, as all of you know, a Diamond Award is given out on a monthly basis for staff that go above and beyond and are recognized either by a colleague or an administrator for doing so. So I'm going to have Mr. Peterson come up first and share his presentation.
Okay, well, I'm glad you would go first here because I think we're on a little time crunch with the little ones in the back. So thank you here, Dr. Sharma. I typically prefer not to make recommendations for our district's Diamond Award because there are so many people in our school that work so hard every day just to make an impact on our students. So it's very tough for me to kind of single one person out. However, in Jessica Rosales' case, I felt like I needed to make an exception. Jess is an amazing person to have in our building. Her positive personality, her solutions-based focus, and her can-do attitude makes her an exceptionally strong member of our school. It's easy to see her passion for band, as on any given week, she's either here before school starts at 7:30, or she's here after school ends, doing all sorts of jazz ensembles, and this happens multiple times every week. Our numbers of kids that go off of band continue to rise, and they've earned some strong designations at the events that they have competed in. I like to say, although we are a small school, we are mighty, and in this case here, we have a mighty band, and I believe that is a strong reflection of Jessica. In addition to this, she's a leader on our PBIS team, and each month she works to recognize students during our assemblies with positive referrals. We average between 150 and 200 referrals every month, so handing those out is always interesting, but we're always up for the task here for that. This year, we started implementing academic and behavioral trimester challenges in which she has helped to organize and plan for these school-wide events. We just had one here on Friday where kids, we like to say one of our school improvement goals is to offer voice and choice. And the first trimester challenge we had, the kids got to choose between, I believe, 9 different movies. We didn't leave any out. So 9 different movies, and we were popping popcorn for like 4.5 hours. It was, so next time we'll buy the popcorn. But also here for this round of our second trimester challenge, or what we call our second trimester celebration, just was absolutely fabulous here in planning all these different activities for our kids. So last Friday, our kids got to choose between they can play sports, they can be listening to movies. We had a board game room, we had a reading room, we had a cosmetology room, which was probably the most attended room that we had. We had some boys getting some facials and all sorts of great stuff. But it was it was from her vision though that, it's just an exceptional job and the kids and the staff just really, really love that. Love that. And just made it just a great day for all of us. I believe that Jess is at the forefront of our building, at the forefront of building and maintaining such a strong and positive culture in our building. And she's contagious as others regularly follow her lead. Doing these things and many more, she is respected, she's revered and admired by her students, her colleagues, and myself. I could not be more happy and honored to nominate Mrs. Jessica Rosales for our District Diamond Award. So thank you, Jess. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was really kind. I just want to thank everybody that has been supportive of just me and the program, the band program, specifically my team. And then obviously Mr. Peterson for nominating me, as well as Dr. Sherman Lewis and the board, many of which I have your students in band. So thank you so much for this. I really do appreciate it. And I look forward to continuing strongly this year and just moving forward and growing as a band program and as a music program. So thank you. Congratulations.
Our next award presentation this evening is from our two kindergarten teachers here, Mrs. Brogy and Mrs. Novotny.
Good evening. Colleen and I are so excited to have nominated our friend and colleague, Candace Rastrelli, for this award. Candace is such an integral part of our kindergarten team. She exemplifies a Diamond Award winner in so many ways. She has spent her year leveling up and taking on new challenges each and every day. Candace is continually learning as an educator. She is willingly offering to take on new and exciting challenges, piloting our math program that we're hoping to get for next year, as well as a new progress monitoring tool. She takes on these new challenges with excitement and informs her teammates of all these new things that she has learned. And sometimes it's even out of her comfort zone. And I think that that's such a huge token to what she's been doing. She offered to go to our Raising Student Achievement conference, and is going to be one of the teachers that informs our staff about what knowledge she has gained in that workshop.
And I'm lucky enough to be Candace's partner for our PBIS team at Diamond Lake. And fortunately, I have her to do the invites and stuff to send out because I lack in that skill. But she is always helpful in organizing our meetings and is always bringing new ideas to the table and comes up with wonderful incentives for our students to get motivated to be on their best behavior, doing the respectful, responsible, and safe behavior in the hallways, and winning those wonderful prizes and choices that we have for our jars, coming up with all those activities for us. And Candace is also an awesome part of our kindergarten team. She comes to meetings prepared and always loves sharing activities that she's researched on her own time. And she's always our scribe. She always takes notes for us, which I totally appreciate. She's helped change the way that we teach sight words this year by studying the new science and reading research and taking it to the next level again, leveling up. And that is why we are recommending Candace Rastrelli to be honored with this award. She is a sparkling part of our team and is always willing to level up. So we love you. Thank you so much for all you do.
Just a few short words. Thank you so much. I have to say, as I listen to my dear colleagues speak about what I do and what I have done, I'm just doing my job. And to get recognized for that, I really appreciate that. And I'm very honored. This is my 6th year here in the district. I could not be in a better, more welcome space in my community and with the community that I have made being part of Diamond Lake Schools. So thank you so very much.
And our next presentation this evening is from Ami Malador. It's fine. I have one up there.
Hopefully I could reach this.
You can.
I'll tiptoe.
Right, good evening. When I first started teaching at DLS 6 years ago, like Ms. Ristrelli, I did not have experience in special ed. And right now I'm in the blended program, except for my college classes. And as you know, real life does not always match what they teach in college. So I was blessed, very, very blessed to have had the chance to work with Ms. Kokoris from my first year at DLS until now, because I've learned so much from her and continue to learn from her. And I believe 2 of our new members in the blended program could attest to that too. And even though she was not my mentor teacher, Ms. Kokoris has taught me so much more than I had ever learned in college. She has such passions for speech and language and developmentally appropriate practice. And those who work with her lovingly call her the Mary Poppins, as she goes and grabs what seems to be unlimited items from her bag, props, one after another, all to help the students remain engaged, interested, and get them talking. She has the power to make our kids talk back in a good way. Although sometimes too good. She gives our children their voice. To her colleagues, she is a great resource, making sure that all students are able to express themselves and are heard. To our students, she is the fun aunt whom they look forward to playing with and have no problems leaving their homeroom mommies. And to our students' parents, she is the reliable and trustworthy educator that they trust, and they rely to give the best speech services to their children. Ms. Kokoris is a true diamond in everything she does in our school. It is my pleasure to nominate her, and I'm so glad that I get to see her receive the Diamond Award.
I know I did that all on my tippy toes. She did that all on her tippy toes. Like I said.
Congratulations.
You don't want to say anything? You're the You make everybody else talk, right? As a speech teacher, yes. Well, thank you so much, Diamond Award friends and family, for coming and supporting our Sparkling Stars. We have 2 additional presentations that one of them is going to be given by staff. So at this time, I know there are some little people that might need to get to bed. So you are excused, but all of you are welcome to stay if you'd like to. Yes, you too, Mrs. Novotny. You may go. I know you have to get to bed. So thank you so much for coming and supporting your colleagues.
And congratulations to all our Diamond Award winners.
Mr. Hanson, do you want me to ask people to wait to have pictures? Diamond Award winners, can you wait for just a quick second? Mr. Hanson's gonna, as soon as he boots up this next presentation, is gonna take your pictures. Thank you. I feel. All right, so for our next presentations this evening, as the board knows, you vote each year on our goals and priorities for the school year. And then the district leadership team works to monitor them and create action plans and timelines for how they put together. But we work very closely with the staff. This is our district professional advisory council, whom we call fondly the PAC. There are 3 people from each building. Not all of them could attend tonight, but the majority of them are here. And what we thought would be really nice, and this is the second time that they're doing it, is give you from their voice, their perspective of how things are going in each one of the goal areas. So we've worked on it together collaboratively, but it's really nice to get a personal perspective, not only from them as individuals, but also from them, what's going on in each of the buildings. So we've got staff from Diamond Lake, West Oak Intermediate, West Oak Middle School. And as you know, a priority this year for staff and for students has been a focus on social emotional learning, health and well-being. So we have 2 members from our social emotional learning committee that are going to be with us. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and then we are going to present to you a shared presentation.
Caitlin Karen, special education teacher at Diamond Lake.
Rachel Johnson, second grade dual.
Katie Levy, STEAM 3 through 5 at West Oak Intermediate.
Meg Hagan, 3rd through 5th general music and 5th grade band.
Susan Borkowski, 5th through 8th grade choir and general music.
Hope Sohn, 6th through 8th grade art.
Steve Nolte, West Oak Middle School, special education.
Lindsay Herman, social worker at West Oak campus.
Will Carr, social work intern at West Oak campus.
And just another side note, on your printed agendas, board members, we just changed it this afternoon, the order of the presentations. We're going to do our mid-year goals update first, which is, it's correctly reflected in the packet, but just not in the paper printed copy of the agenda. So as you know, we have 5 goal areas, 5 priority areas. And the first one is academic excellence. And at the last board meeting, the principals and Dr. Olson and Dr. Cunningham presented a really nice job of our fall to spring growth, fall to winter growth on our academic assessments. So today we're going to hear a little bit about how they're doing in the classrooms and monitoring that as classroom teachers as well as grade level and departments. Goal number 2 is strengthening social emotional well-being, learning and engagement for all students. And goal 3 at Diamond Lake is establishing a district early learners program. So we're going to hear from each of the schools and then from the SEL committee of what they're doing district-wide.
Okay, so at Diamond Lake School, all staff have been using data to guide instruction, interventions, and progress monitor our students. One of the main times that happens is during our weekly staff meetings. We've changed our staff meetings a little bit this year so that more people attend the meetings, which enables us to collaborate a little better and to have different experts present when we're making decisions. As you can see for number 2, another one of our goals has been to work on PBIS goals and incentives. As part of our PBIS program, every month we set a goal for students. They collect a certain number of Cub cards, and if they meet those goals, then we have a celebration at the end of the month. So far, we've had pajama day and a hot chocolate party, and we have more celebrations planned. We also have community cuddles cards, which the kids love. They collect these cards and put them in a little basket. And then at the end of the month, Dr. Berger draws some names from the basket, and those students get to go on a special field trip. This past month, they went to the John Powers Center for partially deaf and hearing impaired students. The students had a Valentine's Day party. They interacted with the kids. They learned a little bit of sign language. They came back to Diamond Lake School and taught their friends a little bit of sign language. So they absolutely loved it. And then one of the third things that we've been doing to promote academic excellence is that we've changed our preschool model. We used to have a separate general education and a separate bilingual and separate special education classes. Now we've have more of a blended model so that all of those students from different groups are together in the classroom so that we have a more diverse learning environment.
At West Oak Intermediate, we also have been using data to drive all of our decisions with instruction, with intervention and progress monitoring, with the staff or the team meetings being restructured. We too can have different coaches come to our team meetings and to really focus on a specific theme each week. We've been using the DESA Universal Screener. We recently had the second round of that, which will help us guide SEL instruction, as well as utilizing our social workers. The students recently took an SEL survey, which shows that the students feel supported by their teachers and they also feel safe and welcome at West Oak Intermediate School. The students can also earn possum cards at any time of the day by any teacher. If a teacher notices them being safe, kind, respectful, and responsible, they'll write a card for that student. And then at the end of the week, they get their picture taken with Mr. Preble, and they can take that home to show their parents. And then later, Mr. Preble will tweet out the picture with our possum leaders of the week. Those students are also entered into the wheel, where at the end of the week, the wheel is spun and the winner can earn a prize again from Mr. Preble. We have also just started a centervention with Tier 3 students. And with all Tier 1 students, we are continuing the second step program within their homeroom.
At West Oak Middle School, similar to what has been said about Diamond Lake and West Oak Intermediate, all of our staff are using data to guide our instruction. We are doing progress monitoring on a 6-week rotation and using that information to place students into math or reading interventions as needed, which are part of our daily schedule. And when we meet on our weekly basis, we're examining different subsets of data to help us set goals and make decisions as a team to guide our instruction. We're excited that students have a better understanding of their own academic and SEL goals this year. We've found that students are really excited to know how they're doing, for example, on their STAR tests. And we've been really transparent with them about their scores, and they'll work with their teachers to come up with goals for the growth that they want to make on their STAR scores throughout the year. We do have an incentive in place for the grade level that makes the most growth this year. So the students are going to have involvement in choosing what their celebration will be for that incentive for the grade level that makes the most growth. We've been working on our curriculum mapping and updating our learning targets. We've been communicating those out to the kids and also including them on our website so that parents and community have access to that. And then students are working on their own digital portfolios for their spring conferences, where they're going to take ownership of communicating what they've been working on, what they've been learning, how they've been achieving their goals this year, and what growth they've made. So that gives them a chance to take the lead on communicating that with their families. We also have our monthly PBIS assemblies. So this includes various activities. I think you'll hear a little bit more about this later on, but we're recognizing student achievements on a monthly basis and spending time as a school with various challenges and activities that help us celebrate all of the positive things that we're doing. And then we've got our SEL Mondays, which is part of our weekly, kicking off the week with different themes each week to work on SEL, which I know you'll also hear more about that, but that is another way that we've been helping students to write their own SEL goals and take ownership of that as well.
The district SEL committee has been able to use data from the DESA Universal Screener, and this has helped the social workers create targeted groups to address various SEL needs and address ISBE SEL standards. Each building has also implemented a Tier 1 SEL curriculum, which includes zones of regulation, second step, and SEL Mondays. For our Tier 3 students, we've implemented Centervention, which allows students to complete individual activities, and it provides supplemental lessons and activities for school staff to teach students in a group setting.
And then for our SEL survey, this was discussed at the SEL committee, as well as with the school social workers and school psychologists to be modified and revamped to better identify and support the needs of our diverse population between both the intermediate school and the middle school. And then that's where we saw some positive response to that survey. And parent universities are hosted once a month and conducted by the SEL committee to help parents support the social emotional needs of their children as well as their own through topics such as social media safety, learning how to create positive relationships with your child, and helping your child cope through difficult situations.
Continues to be professional excellence and how do we support our staff. The first goal in this area is implementing those building and leadership walkthroughs, increase staff participation in the instructional coaching program, and also strengthen the social emotional well-being, learning, and engagement for all staff. So we're going to hear again from each of the buildings on how they're supporting professional excellence.
At Diamond Lake, regarding walkthroughs, all staff feel that the walkthroughs have been powerful regarding the feedback that has been given. We appreciate just the quick email confirming what we're doing in the classroom is correct and we're engaging the students and they're actively learning. All new staff members this year have been paired with an instructional coach for reading and for math. That allows them that connection with one person so they can go to if they have questions. The instructional coach also provides them with strategies and tools that they can try in the classroom to best support the students that they have. As well as those instructional coaches have been a part of our team meetings this year. So providing those, again, strategies and tools for the team to try out and report back what's going well, what needs improvement on. This year at Diamond Lake, we have really been focusing on staff celebrations. So both inside the school and outside of the school, making those connections. A big part at Diamond Lake is that we are stepping up to the plate as far as staff. Those come in handy when we're short staffed sometimes at school. Everyone will kind of take charge, and if they have free time or playing time that they can dedicate to help those so the kids their schedule is not out of whack for that. We all step to the plate for that.
So at West Oak Intermediate, we've also had our second round of walkthroughs. The staff has really been very open to the feedback, and much like Ms. Karn said, it was really empowering to see that positive reinforcement of what we're doing. As far as instructional coaches, they've really been a part in implementing our school improvement plan, as well as being in team meetings. Our team meetings are theme-based, as Ms. Hagan touched upon. This week happens to be math, for example, so Ms. Riley would be joining us. And just having them available to us to help us coach throughout the year. As far as part 3, we have Sparkles the Elephant in our building where you can nominate staff members for doing something above and beyond. So right now our EL team has earned it for their amazing job access testing the entire building. We have the Sunshine Committee, which does things for the staff like the coffee cart, which is always very well received. Staff shout outs during morning announcements by Mr. Preble, and students or staff can nominate that person for the shout out, and it could be an adult or a student. We have Moments That Matter, monthly activities. This past month, we combined with West Oak campus to do a potluck of snacks for Super Bowl. And then in our bulletin from Mr. Preble, we have a weekly teacher university to just kind of give us a pep talk.
From West Oak Middle School, to just piggyback on what the other schools have said, the walkthroughs have been extremely beneficial to the teachers at West Oak Middle School. It's always nice to get a little email with a kudos for doing a nice job when they come in and observe. When it comes to the instructional coaching program, we meet the first and the third Thursday of every month for our professional learning communities with our instructional coach. And then the second and the fourth of every month, we do student support services. It is extremely beneficial. We monitor the students' learning and the progress, and we work as a team to improve our teaching skills and students' academic performance, as well as their social and emotional well-being. We are updating our math and science, as well as our art and STEAM curriculum. We're very excited about that. And we're increasing the rigor throughout all our core and encore classes. We are doing a lot more of cross-curricular content this year across the board. And we're also strengthening our social emotional well-being, learning and engagement for all the staff. When it comes to what we're doing for the staff, we have Willie, the Wolf, where we have staff nominate each other at a staff meeting for going above and beyond teaching. It's just a little something to surprise a staff member at each staff meeting. We have the Sparkle Squad that is very similar to the Sunshine Committee, where we celebrate birthdays for the staff, as well as a nice little added is Mr. Peterson gets on the intercom and lets the students know when it's a teacher's birthday, which is very special. It's very cute to see all these teachers running to all the students running to their teachers to wish them a happy birthday. It's the little things. And then also when it comes to the weekly teacher universities, it's nice to get little tips and tricks for the teachers to add to our toolboxes, as well as we get tips for social emotional wellness for the teachers as well.
So of course, to optimize the professional experiences, we need to focus on the social emotional well-being of our teachers. So as other teachers have touched on, Moments That Matter is headed by the SEL committee to increase the social emotional well-being of our staff. The committee plans events once a month, and some of these have included a pumpkin patch outing, so we can spend time with one another's families outside of the work setting. Thankful letters to each other that we put in each other's mailboxes during Thanksgiving, and then we also had cookies and cocoa in December.
The SEL committee also has focused on providing tools and tips for teachers through the weekly teacher universities that are included in each principal's staff bulletin. Topics can range from strategies to use when working with students who might be struggling socially, emotionally, or behaviorally, as well as tips and tools to support teacher social, emotional health and well-being. The SEL committee has also partnered with the district's wellness committee. Each school's PBIS committee and each school's Sunshine Committee are Sparkle Squad for various activities and initiatives.
Our third goal area is operational excellence. And I know this was a priority for the board to make sure that we had the tools and resources needed to make those database decisions. So it was to increase the staff utilization and application of our data management system, EduClimber, and use those in our decision making. And then another goal that we put forth this year that the principals took leadership in is reorganizing their team meetings into professional learning communities in order to establish a system for database decision making. And so each one of the staff members will share with you how they're using that and how their teams are structured in each of their buildings.
So at Diamond Lake, we've been using EduClimber in order to look at students who are struggling and see their data over a longer period of time. So it's an easy resource to pull up, and instead of trying to pull data from many different places, we can look at the data that's been collected in the EduClimber. I've recently gone through this MTSS process, which stands for multi-tiered system of support, with a couple of my students. And we used EduClimber to pull up some data as well as other sources. And then we had a lot of our interventionists and coaches and experts in the room to look at the data and come up with some further suggestions and put a plan into action. Also, we've restructured our team meetings, as I've just mentioned, to include other team members. So we used to just have, for example, I'm on the second grade team, just the second grade teachers would be present at our weekly meetings. But now we've included our coaches, our interventionists, oftentimes Dr. Berger or SPED teachers are in the room, which it just makes it nice to have everybody in one place, so that if we're talking about a specific student or a specific skill that we're teaching, there's many people who can give their input right in the moment.
West Oak Intermediate has also been using EduClimber, and now we have inputted the information from DESA into EduClimber. So it has information for their math, their literacy, and now their SEL data, which gives us a better picture of the whole child, not just their academics, but again, expanding that to their SEL data. Since it's all in one place, it makes it a lot easier to see the growth or the areas that they may struggle, so it can inform meetings and can help us put plans into place if any student is struggling. We're also using it to support our school improvement plan. And then our team meetings have also been restructured in a theme format. So different people can again attend the team meetings. It's been helpful, especially with EduClimber, to have the small trainings in a team meeting if our tech coach is there, or specific things in our team meetings so we can get more information throughout the month and not just at the beginning of the year for these trainings. So that's been really helpful in our team meetings. Yeah, it's been great.
Alrighty, so from West Oak Middle School, I'm really excited about this priority because it's operational excellence. So to me, it means just not just working collaboratively together, but also what we're going to do for long term. So when we look at our, DLS intermediate school, the middle school, and as they move forward onto their high school experience, how are we going to make sure that they're long time learners? So we've been meeting with our deep dives into their testing. So looking at their STAR data and other testing data, and not just looking at how they score in certain categories, such as their reading comprehension or their math, but like specifically where in there's different domains, where do they fall, and what areas are maybe deficits. Where are we seeing growth? Where are we not seeing growth? I think when we dive and we have those deep data dives as a small group, it really lets us see, what we can do differently in our classes, whether it's for an individual student or as a whole. So that's been really meaningful for us. As all the other schools already mentioned, just using DESA and that data, we recently did our second DESA as well, and that is incorporated in EduClimber. And it's really nice to have all of that in one central hub to be able to look at all that data and put it together. And then when we are looking at, if we look at our third data point here, being able to use that DESA data to problem solve when students have issues or when things come up, and to be able to have meaningful conversations with students to actually make an impact to them. Having that data is really important. The last thing is that our teacher and students, we want to give them as much voice as possible. We've done that through our BLT and also through our student ambassadors, which meets with Mr. Peterson. And it's awesome that they get to have an opportunity to have a voice and have a say. And when we talk about things like our trimester 1 or 2 or whatnot challenge or whatever verbiage we're going to use for it, for them to be able to have a say of what goals they want to work towards and what type of reward they want out of it is really meaningful, because I feel like that really helps them to work towards that. So that's something that we've been able to do as a school, and yeah, it's been great.
Our fourth priority is financial excellence, and our goal in this area is to make sure that all purchases are aligned to district goals and also to maintain a $250,000 surplus. So none other than.
Yeah, I did nothing to do with my hands here, so this is in the audience. I feel like I'm on the Price is Right with this microphone. Right. Is aligning district purchases while still maintaining a fiscally responsible budgetary surplus to help plan for future expenditures and purchases. So to utilize, to measure that, we have really three main areas. We use our district annual financial report. We use the ISB financial profile score, and then the staff's support and success survey. So currently the district's showing a roughly $375,000 surplus in the operating funds. And since the AFR is not available, we utilize Forecast 5 and 5Cast to kind of track those. That's part of the monthly treasury reports that you guys all receive. So we're doing good on that goal so far. The ISB's financial profile score of 3.8, we always utilize the year prior since data is not available until the AFR is released. So we maintained a 3.8 score. And as a reminder, that is the highest score we can currently get due to some long-term debt obligations we have. And then I think the score we're most proud of is the 98% of participants. So they agree, or strongly agree that they received all the essential materials to do their job. That's the number one priority of our department, is just to make sure we're long-term planning, but also providing all the resources that we need to effectively run a school district.
An area that you know that we continuously strive for improvement and to maintain excellence is excellence in communications. And we try to do that all the way from the boardroom down to the classroom. And so our staff work really hard at communicating with families and with each other and with the community members, as well as we do as a district level. So you're going to hear not only from each of the buildings on what they're doing from the classroom and at a building level, but then also from Mr. Hansen from a district level perspective on how do we provide timely and relevant information, homeschool information about student progress, and then also how do we encourage and engage family and parent involvement at district-wide events.
At Diamond Lake, we use a variety of ways to communicate with parents, those being progress reports, report cards, which just went out last week, bi-weekly curriculum newsletters, so grade level wise, they send out those. Any individual meetings that we have with parents concerning maybe academic progress or behavior concerns. We use Seesaw to send messages, and it allows parents to also see work that's being sent back to them that maybe students have to correct, or see the work that they have completed. Students also receive cup cards at Diamond Lake, and a lot of the kids want to take those cup cards home to show their parents that they earned one that day. They also get nominated for the Burger Wall of Fame. So teachers nominate them once a week. They pick a student who's showing good behavior in the classroom. They get their name called in the announcement. They go down and take a picture. And this child always gets sent home with a certificate in the language that they speak at home, so that their parent can see that recognition that they received. As far as family involvement, at Diamond Lake, we have seen a huge increase in the family involvement that we provide to them. I know last month for the second grade music concert, it was a packed house. Parents, family members, grandparents all came. And the family nights that we do provide, it's just a peak interest for the students. I know, like for STEM, there was a spot for the robots, and the kids really like the robots. So that was the big focus for them, and just the increased parent participation that we're seeing in the parent universities.
So at West Oak Intermediate, some of the ways that we communicate with parents is access to the parent portal and PowerSchool Now, the principal's weekly newsletter that goes out on Fridays, trimester report cards. We have Class Dojo that we can send messaging out, as well as information, possum cards, which, as Ms. Hagan said, get tweeted out. We use Twitter to kind of highlight different things that are going on in our building, as well as events that are going on, emails and phone calls home, as well as any projects that go home. We really increased parent involvement, and we've seen a lot of parents coming back to the building in person, which has been really exciting for us, in events like the spelling bees or guest readers, the parent university, as well as our grade level music shows, the band and choir concerts, and our upcoming art shows.
At West Oak Middle School, we also have a variety of ways that we're communicating with our families. So in addition to, of course, making phone calls, we're very lucky to have our administrative associates up front who are absolutely always ready to make phone calls in English and Spanish and anything we need, so that we always have those lines of communication open. We also have parent access to PowerSchool. Students have access to that as well. We've got emails that go home regularly from teachers, as well as at the building level. Parents have access to Google Classroom along with the students. And our positive referrals that go out each month can be given from students, from teachers, and to students or to teachers. So we have ways for teachers to be recognizing students, but we also have ways for students to be recognizing each other or to be recognizing their teachers. And then that gives a really nice, just like written document for families to see of what exactly is going on that's positive with their students at school. We send out our STAR reports. Students are able to access that data as well as the families. And then we also have seen a lot of increased participation in our parent universities as well.
Well, from a district perspective, there's a lot of, in addition to, I think, a lot of in tandem with whatever has been shared here from a school perspective. But relevant communication and student progress. Glad a lot of people did mention this today that PowerSchool Parent Portal, this is the first year this district has utilized it outside of the middle school. Excuse me. So all our families have access to the PowerSchool Parent Portal that allows our families to be able to get timely access to our student academic grades, how they're doing for attendance and everything you would see in the PowerSchool Parent Portal. It's always going to continue to evolve. So our families will continue to grow and join in and see how our students are progressing at their own time. A continuation of our learning management systems, because one area you can see your academic growth that's happening in PowerSchool, but also all the everything that's happening on a day-to-day basis happens via Seesaw if you're at Diamond Lake School, or via Google Classroom if you're at West Oak campus. So a lot of that information that's provided. So if you're connected as a family member in Seesaw, you'll be able to see that information that's happening regularly. If you're, as well as Google Classroom, which will allow our families to be able to see those weekly digests of how our students are doing via their assignments, whether through their homework classes or through their middle school classrooms as well. In continuation with that, we want to ensure to continue to amplify our weekly updates. Every Friday we do our weekly updates. It provides a lot of information for our families around this realm. Social media spotlights, those happen in many different avenues, but ensure that we're not just promoting on social media for any sort of events, but also things that are happening around school that's academic or just to shine a spotlight on something that's happening that's very beneficial for our families. And ensuring that we have flexible formats. So for parent-teacher conferences or parent universities, allowing the families to have opportunities to be able to be connected, learn about how our students are progressing, and then to actually physically be in the place, they should be able to access it at any time. Regarding encouraging our parent and family involvement in our district or school events, we're continuing to amplify our events, not just on the website. It goes to the website of the calendar. That's one nice thing to have, but that is there. But leveraging our mass communication systems as well as social media presence as well. So we're having targeted communications to amplify any sort of events that are happening, whether it's district or school-based, by doing things like Facebook events or anything, any sort of social media presence that does happen at that time. All this happens and is documented so that we can learn how to review our communication metrics and review the effectiveness of it. So every month through our monthly update, we provide monthly documentation on how activities are running, how our communications are being sent out, and seeing how effective they are based off of any events that are happening and how the communications work with that. And last but not least, as I mentioned, the previous one is ensuring our families have flexible opportunities to be attending things virtually or in person, whether it's a parent university or upcoming parent-teacher conferences as well.
So in summary, we just wanted to share with you our progress as of September 20th, when you all approved the goals and priorities action plan, that the DLT then went and, which is the district leadership team, then went and created action plans, which each of their building leadership teams, and shared them out with staff along with the timelines. And then also who is responsible from a leadership standpoint for following through and overseeing and monitoring those plans. Then each of the principals meet with their building leadership teams on a regular basis to review and discuss the priorities, goals, and action plans, get their feedback, making sure they're on target with progress. And if they're not, what is it that we need to continue, start, or stop doing to make sure that we are maintaining our action? And then collectively and collaboratively implement the action step. As you heard from here tonight, that's just something that we are so passionate about, is making sure that everybody, teachers and students as well, have a voice and collaboratively and collectively share in that. And so they feel that there's a sense of ownership and pride with the progress that we're making. And then, as we do every year, but the district leadership team and the building leadership teams every 100 days. So every trimester, kind of do those overall checkups, see how we're doing with each one of our goals. So we had just completed that in the first week of February. And tonight, as we are updating you on our progress in February, and then in June, we'll kind of give you an overview of the entire year and hopefully continue with sharing the same growth and progress. And looking ahead from tomorrow on, we want to continue this positive forward momentum, continue the shared collaboration that we have here in this room, review and reflect as teams and as grade levels with staff, and seeing, like I said, what we're doing, what that we need to continue to do, what do we need to start doing, what do we need to stop doing to maintain our growth. Continue to meet with district leadership team, the professional advisory council, as well as our building leadership teams to make sure that we're monitoring progress and we're moving in the right direction. Collect and analyze the data. As you heard a lot, there's a lot of data. The data that you saw last week, or excuse me, the last board meeting was all the academic data. Tonight, you're going to see the second part of a lot of what they've talked about, which is the social emotional data for our students. And then we're going to share it all in summary for you at the June board meeting. Questions or feedback for either anybody on the district leadership team or the PACT committee?
I don't have any questions, but I did want to thank all of you. This was really informative, and I think sometimes the board always wants some kind of insight. Like, we talk a lot about EduClimber, we hear about different things, but we don't necessarily get a glimpse into how they're put into practice. So it was really, at least for me, and I'm pretty sure I speak for everybody, beneficial for us to hear kind of how you're using it in team meetings, how it's influencing you and the decisions that you're making for your students. So I just wanted to thank you for all the hard work you put into the presentation and the hard work you put into the district every day.
Having two kids in two different buildings, I see this in action. I hear about it. I'm part of the newsletter. I get the newsletter every Friday. I know Power School very well. And just, I see how much you're all doing, and I'm really grateful for all your hard work. So thank you.
Great job, everybody. So proud of you. Now, I know we have one more presentation, but you have all been here all day. You've put in a lot of time after school as well as tonight. So I will not take it personally, nor will anybody in this room if you would like to excuse yourself and go get some rest. But thank you again. We are just so proud of the work that you're doing, and you have made this action come to life. So thank you so much for your continued commitment and your sparkle. We appreciate it. Thank you. And then I'm going to call up Dr. Olson, who is going to share with us our second presentation for the evening, which is Priority 1, Goal 2, our social emotional learning update from our students' perspective. So she's going to show you data as well as survey data. Thank you, everybody. Sorry. While Mr. Hansen pulls up the presentation, Dr. Olson's going to share the first presentation, and the second attachment was a request by Mrs. Hale if we could see the social emotional learning survey questions as well as the breakdown by building. So you have that as a second attachment if you'd like to review that and ask us any questions. District leadership team, you look so comfortable where you are. You can stay there, or if you'd like to come up here, you are welcome to. It is up to you, but I'm extending the invite. I'm extending the invite if you'd like to move.
I had a question for the middle school. Who fills out the DESA for the students?
It's actually the teachers. So we pick, I believe, what did we end up picking this year, Mr. Peterson? For which teachers take it for the DESA? Was it?
It was the third period teachers, which is third period teachers was sixth and eighth grade, second period teachers was seventh. So it was their fourth class.
And then if they ever had questions, what we recommended and we trained the staff to do is actually collaborate as a
Okay.
team meeting. Because, hey, I'm stuck on this kid, or I haven't seen this, have you? Because especially in the middle school, we know that they go from student or teacher to
Yeah.
teacher. And we just want to make sure that it was accurate.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question just regarding how parents have felt about the aspect of social emotional learning. I think for most people, it's just a continuation of the whole child, but I know that certain people, certain, just different backgrounds may feel differently, like my kid goes to school to learn reading and writing, and why are we doing this? Has there been any feedback on that, or has it been fairly positively received? It was just curiosity.
From my
Hey, I have a couple quick questions. So with the DESA, actually that and the student survey, are you able to share those with us? Because it's kind of hard to kind of visualize kind of what kind of questions you're asking. I think that would help me. Both of them, I would. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, great. And then, is there any connection? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. I was wondering if there is any connection with the questions between the DESA and the student survey, like, that might indicate if kids are self-aware of where they might be lacking or not.
Because now that we have some basis, now we keep that and compare the two, since we're both brand new surveys to everyone, and we have not done that yet, but it will be our next.
Okay. And then my other question was, with the DESA, are those questions kind of subjective or are they objective questions? It seems like they might be, depending on how the teacher is feeling that day, maybe does that
relationship with the teacher and student.
right? Like, does that impact?
Yes,
Yeah.
so it's a rating scale, so it's a record rating scale, so it has it on there, so it's sometimes, often, always, and then I believe it's never is the last one.
Okay.
And it is actually made, how we train the staff is that it actually is, you take the past amount of time, so if it's 6 to 8 weeks, you take the average of the 6 to 8 weeks, you don't just say, hey, we didn't have a good period this time and it didn't go well, we're gonna take it here, and you take the average data of that student to answer the questions. And it's more about how they're feeling class, are they ready to learn, what does that look like, and then are they showing any emotion, like that kind of piece, and do they have friends, are they able to communicate, and then that's those just basic questions, and then at 72 gets way more in depth about where the student is functioning and what's actually needed. And that it's a lot more into, I would say, kind of both subject and adaptive questions.
Okay, thank you. And that concludes our presentations for the evening.
Fantastic. Okay, and now we will move on to our business agenda. We have 2 items up for action on the business agenda. The first item for action is the omnibus vote agenda. Items on the omnibus vote agenda are considered routine and are non-controversial and will be approved by one motion. If any one board member, staff, administrator, or citizen wishes to have a separate vote or vote on any items, that item or items will be pulled from the omnibus vote agenda and voted on separately. Be it resolved that the Diamond Lake 76 Board of Education accepts and approves the omnibus vote agenda items A through D as listed. May I have a motion to approve, please?
So move.
Mr. Candela?
Yes.
Ms. Sullivan? Yes. Ms. Angarola?
Yes.
Ms. Bayless? Yes. Ms. Becker?
Yes.
Ms. Hale?
Yes.
Mr. Hub?
Yes.
That motion is approved. Moving on to our second item for action, which is a personnel item. Be it resolved, the Diamond Lake 76 Board of Education accepts and approves the personnel items as depicted on the agenda. We have 2 new hires, 1 resignation, and 1 retirement notification. May I have a motion to approve, please?
Moved. Ms. Bayless? Yes. Mr. Becker? Yes. Ms. Angarola? Yes. Ms. Hale?
Yes.
Mr. Howland?
Yes.
Mr. Candela?
Yes.
Ms. Sullivan?
Okay, that motion is also approved. That wraps up our business agenda for the evening. Moving on to board discussion. Do we have any items this evening for board discussion? No. Okay, and we did not have any FOIA requests. Moving on to notices and communications. We had some fantastic District 76 highlights. I don't know if there's anything you want to point out. That baby is adorable.
I know, isn't she so
She's so cute. It's so nice of you to share all that with us. Okay, then now we will move on to public comments and petitions on non-agenda items. We have lost our captive audience. Do we have anyone joining us virtually? Mr. Hanson? Okay, great. If you're joining us virtually and you have a comment, please feel free to type that into the chat box and we will read that into the meeting. And we'll pause for a second to allow you to do so. Okay, I am not seeing any public comments. So moving on to others.
The only item that I have under others is, as you know, that we had our, at the February 2nd, we had a Mundelein High School Feeder Board of Education as well as myself joint meeting. They would like to continue that for twice a year, one in January and one in June. And so the next date would be June 8th at 9 a.m. We're going to do it at the Mundelein High School, one of their professional development spaces. So if they would like it to be the board president to give an update, and then if any other board members want to rotate out, I know Mrs. Bayless went last time, but welcome to go again. But if anybody else is available and like to go, just let myself and Hiram know, and then we'll still a ways away. But if you're available to make it, it's just nice for them to see different faces at the table.
Yeah, and just as a reminder, we can only bring one other board member. Okay. Are there any others? Yes. Proceed all. Okay, great.
You have all the information, Mr. Becker?
Okay, fantastic. Anything else for others? Okay, then can I get a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Ms. Angarola? Yes. Ms. Bayless? Yes. Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Hale?
Yes.
Mr. Hub?
Yes.
Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.